You're listening to episode 11 of the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast, Consistency. Welcome to the Wealthy Happy Soul podcast, a show for high achievers who are ready to start enjoying the life they've worked so hard to create. Join me, your host and certified life coach, Dr. Tangi, to learn how to start infusing the dedication you have for your career into living a truly fulfilling life. If you're ready to finally gain the happiness your soul has been longing for, this podcast is for you. Welcome, everybody. I am so happy you are here. And before we get into the episode, I just wanted to remind you that there are 4 $100 gift cards still left in the giveaway, and all you have to do in order to be entered to win one of them is to leave me a review on this podcast in iTunes, and then please screenshot your review and email it to me at happysoul@drtangi.com. Otherwise, I won't be able to enter you to win one of the 4 $100 gift cards that I have left that I'm giving away because iTunes does not give me a way to contact you when you leave a review. And of course, this goes to everybody else who has already left a review as well. Thank you for your review, but don't miss out on the giveaway. If you have left me a review and haven't screenshotted it and emailed it to me, please don't forget to do so, and you could be the lucky winner next time. And for all of my numerology nerds out there, how cool is it that episode 11 of this podcast is being released on the 11th of November, the 11th month of the year? I absolutely love the number 11. It is a number of mastery and power. So I find it fitting that what we're talking about today is one of the most significant building blocks to mastery. And that topic is consistency. This week, I am road tripping through Texas with one of my life coaching besties. We went through the same life coaching training program, and we also happened to join the same mastermind together because we both had the dream of creating real viable businesses with our training. And we're both doctors, and neither one of us learned how to do this in medical school. And that was 2 years ago, and I'm very grateful that she and I met and have been able to develop such a genuine friendship full of encouragement and support and lots of fun times and lots of belief in what the other person is doing. So on this trip, one of the things we decided to do was to treat ourselves to a really swanked out stay at the Four Seasons, and it really is so beautiful here right now, even if my allergies are throwing a hissy fit. Yesterday, as we were driving up to Dallas from Austin, one of the things we started talking about was what got us from there to here. Not only in our friendship, but especially in our businesses. And one of the things that it really boiled down to for both of us is consistency, or being really steadfast and dependable in your actions over time. Without consistency, your progress will fluctuate wildly. It's like you'll do good, then you'll do not so good, and then you'll do good, and then you'll do not so good, and you'll keep repeating the cycle over and over again. And if you're not careful, this pattern can make you really doubt your goals and whether you are capable of achieving them. And by the way, you're totally capable of achieving them, especially once you really learn how to be consistent. Consistency is a habitual set of actions, and it's based on a mindset or a way of thinking. And the thing is that most people don't realize you already are consistent. Our brains love consistency and patterns. And the true question is whether you are consistently consistent or consistently inconsistent. And in order to be consistently consistent, there's a requirement of focused commitment. Focused meaning you really have to have the attitude of being single-minded, because when your focus is scattered, you get inconsistent results. And commitment, which we talked a bit about in episode 6, The thing is, your commitment is going to show by how consistent you are in your everyday life. So many of us, we say we're committed, and I believe we really think we are committed. However, the true litmus test of your commitment is always going to be your results. And if your results are not reflecting what you think you're committed to, chances are you have a problem with being consistent. So, what is it that actually breaks our consistency? Well, the first thing, in my opinion, is actually a failure to recognize and clearly define exactly what it is that you want. What is your specific goal? And when you have your specific goal, how will you know that you've achieved it? Failing to make the goal specific and measurable is one of the biggest things that breaks our consistency. So, how do you make things specific and measurable? One example of this is changing, I like to lose a little weight, to my goal is to lose 20 pounds. Instead of saying, I'd like to make more money, the goal should be, I would like to increase my income by 20%. And as a life coach, I see a lot of people who come to me and they're like, I just want to be happier. And so my question is, what specifically will increase your happiness? For me, back in 2019, when I was visualizing what would make me truly happier, I made sure to write it down and to write down specifically what it looked like for me. And for me, it was moving closer to home while my dad was undergoing cancer treatment. It specifically looked like doubling my income. It specifically looked like working half the time that I was normally working. And none of these things just happened out of the blue for me. I had to be very methodical and consistent in my actions and making sure that what I was doing on a day-to-day basis lined up with what I was saying I wanted for myself. I had to apply the model of conscious creation consistently every day. It for certain wasn't a one and done kind of thing. And that's one thing I want to be really clear about. It's like our society tends to fall in love with intensity and how intense people are, or how intense they can make you feel, or how intensely they can get things done. And what we ignore is intensity's more boring cousin, consistency. But consistency is what will actually get you to your goal. A good analogy of this is just think back to your past dating experiences. And it's like, have you ever had the romantic experience with that very intense guy, or whoever the romantic interest is for you, who comes on really strong in the beginning and makes you feel like you're walking on sunshine with this whirlwind fairy tale romance? He's calling and has the candy and the roses and the gifts for about 2 weeks before it all goes kaput. It's like Mr. Intensity is really fun and is also equally unreliable for the long run. I know for me, every time I've ever fallen in love, it had way more to do with the consistency of a person, the consistency of how he treated me, rather than the intensity. And in a different vein, every time I've ever lost weight, it was because I was consistent with the process of weight loss, not because I went to the gym one day for 12 hours straight. And so it is with any goal. Consistency is always greater than intensity. So that's the first thing that breaks consistency. And the second thing I feel is when you are being led by your results. And this looks like when you see good results, you start to kind of rest on your laurels and stop being as consistent. And on the other hand, when you see bad results, you tend to get discouraged and you stop being consistent. And in order to stop being led by your results, the remedy to that is to really fall in love with the process of achieving a goal. fall in love with the process of becoming the person who achieves the thing that you would like to achieve. Fall in love with the process of being the person who is more disciplined, being the person who has learned something new, a new skill, or a new way of thinking about things. The more you fall in love with the process, the less you tend to be led by your results, whether they're good or whether they're bad. And the third thing I feel that breaks consistency is what I like to refer to as goal setting ADHD, meaning once you figure out a way to achieve one goal, it's like there's something in you that wants to go and tackle all the goals that you have all at the same time. And really what that does is scatter your focus. And remember, consistency requires focused commitment. So the more goals you have, the more scattered your focus will be, and the less consistent you're going to be as well. So it's very important to constrain yourself to 1, maybe 2 goals at a time until you achieve them, and then you can tackle the next one. Okay, so now that we've talked about all the things that can break one's consistency, let's talk about all the things that can enhance your consistency. And the very first thing is to have a clear vision and really know what it is that you want out of life. Know what you want, write it down. And building on this, the second thing is to know the impact that having what you want will have in your life. Why is what you're doing important? Make it personal and realize and understand that consistency is going to be the thing that gives life to all of your goals. The third thing, and we talked a little bit about this back in episode 9, is to schedule everything that requires consistency from you. Put it in your calendar and treat it like a doctor's visit or a day at the spa, because Lord knows I'm not missing a day at the spa. And the fourth thing that I think enhances consistency is to find a group of like-minded individuals who you know will hold you accountable and mastermind with them. They hold you accountable, you hold them accountable, as everybody works on their individual goals. And last but not least, the biggest factor that has always enhanced my own consistency is hiring a coach. Somebody who has held me accountable to doing what I've said I'm going to do. So I highly recommend hiring a life coach who's holding you accountable for doing what you say you're going to do. And more importantly, who is there to help you figure out the reason why you're not doing what you say you're going to do. Who do you have in your life to point out your inconsistent patterns? If the answer is no one, please get on my calendar. I just had a few spots open up for private coaching. Don't let inconsistency be the silent killer of the goals you've set out to achieve. And remember, while you are thinking big, don't forget to think small. It is the commitment to the small, consistent actions that are going to lead to massive change and achievement in your life over time. Have a great week.
If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to go to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review so that more of our Wealthy Happy Soul family can find the show. It really does make a huge difference. And you'll definitely want to remember this. I'm doing a giveaway, and to enter, all you have to do is leave a review, screenshot it, and send it to me. For instructions on how to do that and more information about the giveaway, please head on over to drtangi.com/podcast launch, and you can learn more about the giveaway there. I'm so excited about it because I love gifts. I love being a gift, and I love giving gifts. So head on over, and thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Wealthy Happy Soul Podcast. Thank you for listening to the Wealthy Happy Soul Podcast. If you want to dive deeper into alignment and start cultivating your inner wealth, head on over to drtangi.com.